As you guys can see, we have a huge mess here in the garage. The car is in a lot of different parts and we need to put everything back together. These are the old broken headlights, if you want to call them that, and these are the modules that are not connected or coded to this car, hence why they're sitting out here on the side. But we have the new headlights in, we replaced all the modules, so now everything is working. We did that in the last video, so if you haven't seen that, go watch that. But now it's just a matter of tightening everything back down and getting this bumper on, which I know is going to be very annoying, but we need to get it done and get this car out of the garage. So I started with getting all the major bolts that hold down the headlight, at least on this side, in place. I haven't tightened them down yet because I do want to make sure I'm closing all the gaps necessary. So if I tighten it down right now and it doesn't look too good, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult later on. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, just not tighten it down, just put the bolts in place. And then from there, start throwing the actual bumper back on. I already know getting these back on is gonna be such a struggle because it was a struggle taking them off. And for some reason, for me, putting things back on is always harder because I don't know why. That's gonna have to happen on both sides. That pipe down there also needs to get attached back to the bumper. Yeah. As you guys can tell, I'm really not excited about this entire process. Honestly, it hasn't been too bad. I put some tape around the edges of the bumper so I don't scratch it up, but I got the headlight washer fluid pump, whatever you want to call it, plugged back in on both sides. I ran the actual piping where it was across the bumper. And now it's just a matter of pushing the bumper back into place and bolting it down. I'm kind of glad I left the headlights a little bit loose because I have a little bit more leeway with moving up and down. So yeah, I think we're making pretty good progress. Just gotta make sure I plug up all the sensors and stuff that I took apart, but so far so good. So I'm just gonna keep going at it, get this bumper on, and we should be able to pull this car out in the next hour. Let's say an hour. I'm hoping 30 minutes, but in an hour. I think I did that in record time because that was all of 10 minutes. I got everything not tightened down. I put everything in by hand just so I could make sure the alignment of every single screw goes right back to where it was when I took it off, because I didn't want to take this car apart and then make it worse than it was already. The things that I tightened down were this gap right here, the 2 bolt and bracket that was going right here. Now it's just a matter of putting all of these back into place, but even this, all of it should match up perfectly, just like that, and we should be good to go. So then once I get this bumper back in place perfectly, I'll go ahead and do the last touch up on the headlights, and I think we should be good to go. Then after that, it's just a matter of dropping the car back down and getting it out of the garage. I know I got perfect fitment on this bumper. Why? Because you see this dirt? When I took this bolt off, there was a ring that was clean. So I just made sure that the bolt sat exactly where the clean paint was and the dirt was around it. So I made sure I lined it up perfectly on each one. Now I know that the bumper is sitting where it's supposed to. So now I can fiddle around with the headlight. As you can see, there's a gap there. So I know it needs to come up a little bit. And I'll just tighten it down like that. So I'm gonna spend some time getting the headlight perfect, and then I'll tighten everything back down, and then it's just a matter of throwing the wheel well liners on like nothing even happened. Make sure I don't lose any tools in here, but I think we're good to go. The bumper is definitely lopsided. Never mind, I just didn't latch it properly on this side, but as you can see, the gap is about 1/4 of an inch on both sides, but in the middle right here it's a little bit tight. So what I think I'm gonna do is just loosen up just a tiny bit, maybe on these 3 bolts, pull it out just a tad bit, and then reclose it, because I don't like how that's normal, that gap is normal, that gap, and then right there it's a little bit too tight. So we're gonna do that before we start cleaning all up and putting everything away. And after not too long, we got everything done. We got the wheel well liners back in, we got the wheels on, everything is tightened up. So now we can actually drop the car, but it is getting a little bit late. The sun's about to go down. It's gonna get dark a little bit. So I don't think I'm gonna pull the car out today, but I think tomorrow we're gonna take the car and go give it a wash. And then I think we're also gonna be replacing these M badges. So if you have an F80, you know that these M badges, they eventually go bad and they start cracking. I'm not sure if you can see that. See if I can cover the light and the glare. But right in the corner, right around there, you can see a small crack. But in person, it's a lot more prominent. So we're gonna be replacing that, getting a new M badge on both sides because a lot of F80 owners actually run into that issue. So, and now that we have it fixed, I have an F80 that I can drive around, have fun. And I also have this. So having these two cars in the driveway is actually such a dream moment. Now that we have everything cleaned up and the car is put back together, we can finally move the E30 back inside. It's been sitting in the rain for the last few days. Luckily, it has been charging with the new tender, battery tender. So we're gonna go ahead, move this out the way, get this pulled out, and then from there, get this back in the garage. Get this back in the garage. And then we're gonna be dailying this for the next few days and just make sure that everything's okay, everything's running properly. But of course, with all these cars, we need to go get gas. I'm used to it though, because the Dodge right there. I'm over here getting gas, and look at this. They got a whole Tesla meet going on. There's like 7, 8 Teslas. All right, let's get out of here. Honestly, I could get used to having a BMW. And this feels so good. One, having a manual car again. Cameras, man. I cannot trust her with the camera. That was the most booty video ever. I always tell everybody who drives my car and then who drives my brother's M4 or an M3 that the cars are very fast. They have similar horsepower, but it feels so different. Like this is more controlled, and obviously it's turbo versus naturally aspirated, so it feels really different. But I do love the way the M3s or the F80s just drive in general. I haven't driven a G80 to see how that feels just yet, but I would love to see how they compare to each other. But I can really get used to this. Not bad for a grocery getter either. Got everything we need. Now, let's stop acting like this with my car, get it back home, and finish the rest of the work that we need to do on it, which is the seat emblems. So just got back home, we got the car back on the driveway, E30's back inside where it belongs, and I think that's gonna be it for today's video. We're still not done with the M3 just yet, we still gotta do the seats, so we'll probably be doing that in the next video, and then jump over to the charger because I have the entire aero kit that I need to put on this car and get this car looking as it should, because right now it does look aggressive and it looks amazing, but with the new lip, side skirts, and the new rear diffuser, I think it's gonna look perfect. So like I said, I think that's gonna be it for this video, but definitely stay tuned and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.